Yeah, so I would like to introduce myself first of my experience. So I study math and statistics, math in my bachelor and statistics in my master. At that time, I do more ecological statistics, so like with biodiversity index in my master, and in PhD, I go to bioinformatics. I focus on next generation sequencing, so which we have already spoke a lot. Yeah, that like gene expression, DNA methylation, and host microbiota interaction. So that's why that I know Pankaj there. We are in the same program, and we have kind of cooperation together. And after that, I go to I stay in Germany. Yeah, original from Taiwan. I stay in Germany, and then I go to pharmaceutical industry. So doing more biostatistics to compare the drug efficacy. If you're familiar with clinical trial, yeah. So what I'm doing is that I compare to the big cohort and to see if the new developed drug is better than the old drug. And also I do the sample size calculation and to say, okay, how many patients or how many healthy participants that we need. And the most important is that the more things I did every day is data management, which is I don't expect when I was in PhD. So it means that our data format should follow the structure of FDA. So we collect data from all different resources, like different clinic, different hospital, and when we want to merge together, it's a mess. So someone sent us a CSV file, someone sent us like SAS file, and what we need to do is that we develop some kind of UI designs like app, then they can use a touchpad, and then we can collect all the data. So of course that need a lot of different new technique, I would say, or some like a how to say data privacy things. Especially in Europe, this is quite important to have this. Yeah. So and yeah, this is the company I'm working now. So it's a Supper and Supper. This is a consulting company. You can see that we are very diverse. This is a kind of a political correct in Germany. So we should have a different gender, different race or different population like Asian, Caucasian, Black, and that make our company more attractable. But in actually what we are doing, we are doing the consulting work. So it means that our clients, they have a lot of data, but they don't know how to do it, or they don't have the human resource to do it. Then we go there, and then we help them to build their data pipeline and to answer their research question. Not only working for industry, but the other very big part that we work for government and university. So we have some project together with Freie Universität, so FU Berlin, Free University Berlin, and with so like a medical material, like AI and some computer vision project, we work together. So yeah, my responsibility. So my department is called computational life science. So most something with life science is my job. So go into the outline. So bioinformatics versus data science. What I'm doing every day. So first, so bioinformatics. We can see bioinformatics is a very specific field. Yeah, this is very high level introduction. So might have like a omics study, like transcriptomics, genomic, proteomics, metagenomics, and this is a field that I worked when I was in PhD. Yeah, like NGS data and how we make the gene expression, how we find the target gene, how we find the correlation between one another, how we find the loci for like a GWAS study. And yeah, this is called omics study, and the other part is like a network system biology. So gene interaction, protein-protein interaction. Yeah, and there's also it's structural biology, which means like a protein structure, so like a 3D structure. Another big one is like a database annotation, which is like I see in the genome browser, and they build a database. They have a different name of the gene. They make that all together, and the people can search. And this is the bioinformatics field. What I understand, of course, there are some more fields which I'm not really good at. Yeah, maybe some audience here has a profession in different field. So my point is, when we say bioinformatics, this is very specific field. That means, for example, have experience in DNA methylation, epigenetic. I'm very deep with that, but if I talk about protein structure, I totally have no idea what does that mean. And also, like, have gene expression, but gene expression in certain disease type or in certain, I would say, yeah, gene expression in different setting, and it might be totally different, like in mouse, in human, yeah, in zebrafish, that might be very different. So all the mechanism, they are different. So I would say bioinformatics is you use some some informatic tools here, and then to deep into the research question of biology. So to be the good bioinformatician, you need to be very good at the, or not very good, but you need to spend some time to understand the biological background. But how about data science, which is another story? You can see here, of course, the domain knowledge is important. For example, like a text data, like a mobility data, like a transport. In Berlin, we have a shared bike and shared car, so you can use your phone. I think in India it should be as well. Like, and then how you collect the data, the transportation here and there, or this is different, and the finance data. Yeah, if you're in the bank, how you know that the people want to borrow money from the bank, from the debt, how I verify it. This is yeah, for the data science layer, there should be have some model. And like e-commerce, so e-commerce is like yeah, like Google, like Facebook. No, sorry, yeah, not e-commerce. They are social media. Like e-commerce is like I don't know, eBay or Amazon. Yeah, they collect data of how you buy, and they are not the only one to do that. Yeah, so they can collect a lot of data in very short time. And not only that, but also audio data is getting popular because nowadays people listen to podcasts, and also there are some identification. For example, if I go to IKEA, the customer service, and then they will ask you, okay, could you say your customer number or the items? And yeah, then I need to use like yeah, I usually do that to test my German level, because if I don't say that correctly, I say, please say it again in German, please say it again, and oh, maybe my tone is not correct, so I need to say it again. Yeah, this is audio data to identify these things. And we have like a geographic data. Geographic data is, yeah, it all merged together. For example, we have a project with a drone. So you have a drone, so drone go in on top of the field to see what happened in this field, and you have the geolocation where it is. So our project is we use the drone and to monitor the construction status of the highway. So we don't need to. So that means the supervisor, the unit, they don't need to go in person, but they have a drone, go there, and then they can see, okay, every 2 days, every 5 days, what is going on there, what is going on here, and they can have a model of that. So it's, yeah, when we come all this together, actually the interesting thing is the basic things behind that, the model that we can use to different data type. But of course, we need the domain knowledge. So for example, if I'm people with very good at text data, like, okay, Twitter, and I think after some time, I can be trained with mobility data. So the basic is more like the same, which is very different than bioinformatics, I would say. So let's zoom in biological data. So biological data, they're also very different. This is just my experience, like medical data, like in clinical, medical data, like their metadata, their background, are they smoker, do they smoke or not, male, female, we have a epidemiologist, like this kind of medical data. Clinical trial is different story. And the molecular or cell biology is like, we are talking about like gene expression, DNA methylation, and yeah, the thing. And also agricultural data is also a different story. Agricultural data, which I work quite often in this field. Yeah, it's like a geographic data plus biology data. So it's interesting. Yeah, you need to have some idea of environment, which is soil composition and the weather, and to find the best combination. And ecological data, what I did in my master is like we need to count how many birds in this forest, like estimate how many, what is environmental change. So as the former bioinformatics students, and if you want to go to data science, so advantage is what the real data is, which means if you study, I don't know, pure statistics or mathematics, and you might not have an idea what the data is, which means you just get the data, you don't know data, how data to collect it, how data to process, how you lab, and what is the lab work it is. But as a bioinformatics, you should know that. You should have some idea about transcription, translation, transcription, and even you might have some chance to go into the lab to see how data be collected. This is also very important, and I think it's necessary as a bioinformatics student. And then you know the tools, like the machine learning, the statistic, even now it's getting popular, it's like a deep learning neural network. And then you know how to explain math to biologists, and which is also very important. This is the advantage. Yeah, because as my experience, I need to explain this to physicians. Say, why this gene is important, what method I use, and how we see that, how we explain the result. And let's go to disadvantage. It's very hard to explain to non-bio people. I mean, I believe the audience here, most of them, we have a biology background, so to say, biology background. And it's okay as a gene expression. Everyone knows what is that. But it happens. I feel very frustrated when I try to go to industry and I try to explain my work to, for example, I have an interview with Lufthansa, aircraft company. I don't know how to explain. Yeah, there are 3 different layers. As one layer is gene expression, is genomic, and then the gene as a transcriptome, and then on top of that, there's the DNA methylation, epigenomic, and what is epigenetic? How that deal with the gene expression and how that change it. It takes like forever. I mean, even before I go into my real data analysis. So I need to explain the background. So yeah, this is disadvantage if you want to step into the data science field, and you need to think how you explain and how you transfer the things. And yeah, as I say in the very beginning, bioinformatics is very, very specific. It's hard to transform this domain knowledge to the other. So I can give an example that for example, if I work for Uber, Uber, and then I can, after a certain of time, I know the domain knowledge, I know how it works, and then I can transfer my domain knowledge I can jump to the other company, which might have same service or similar service. Like in Germany, we have a FreeNow, so the other one, or you can shift that to, okay, Foodora, like a food delivery. So it's easier to transfer your knowledge from here to there, but it's not likely in the bioinformatic world. That's my opinion. So if the students or the early stage of your career, you can think about want to be a journalist or a specialist. So journalist is like okay, you got lost in forest, you need tools to cut, shelf, chain, just for surviving. Then you use this Swiss knife. But scenario, you are sitting in front of dining table and you just want to drink soup and you just need a spoon. And these are different training. So some people saying, it depends. In data science, we have these two different, very big area. So some people, like me, I'm a journalist, so I know that I have different experience in different fields. But if I go into specific field, I'm not so good. I mean, I'm good, but it's not so deep to understand how it works. That's very good for consulting environment and this and there. For the other type is I only focus on one field. Like I only focus on how to analyze the text. Natural language processing, like Twitter, and even some scientific article, and like this. It's very, very specific. We can think about what is the best way for the career. So I still have some time. I want to share what is the differences working in the industry compared to in academic. So industry is from prototype to production, and application business thinking. So the very important things I have learned in industry is that how we applied, what is the market, how we change the human's life. And this is the first question, how we do that. And it's not only, in academia, we can think something which might not be really realistic, or even it is fail, it's fine. I did a lot of different projects in my PhD, but very few got published, maybe one or two. The other just, put it somewhere in warehouse. It didn't work out. It didn't work out. But in industry, you need to think, okay, that should be used in human life. And also, like going to a production is a different things. For example, that I can write my code by myself and only myself understand what is this. When I was in PhD, this is how it is. No one will check my code. No one will go in there and then change. Very few cooperation opportunity to work on one project. But when I work in data science, I think that is totally impossible, because I need to communicate with like app, how to people build the people who build the app, the people build the design, and also doing with together with software engineer and this and there. So that is very important. So not only we build a model and the accuracy 0.96, that we are fine, nothing else. No, we need to bring that into production. So how the front user can use that is very important. And also automation is another point which is very different than working in the industry. So automation means if you do this several times, you should automate this. I was so surprised when I come into the PhD program, and one of my supervisor, who is very experienced scientist, and they said, how you deal with the data? So I have a big Excel table, and then I cut here and then copy to here, and then yeah, I change here and I mark here, and then I do it for different so for many times, just get my my things done. And he is a microbiologist. I'm so surprised, but it won't work. I mean, in industry, what we need is automation. So you press a button and everything goes. And this I would say this is like a 60% or 70% of time are doing this job, because when data come in, we collect in different database, and how we go into the analysis, we need to automate the pipeline. Yeah, and also like profit, you need to discuss with the cost. You need to discuss even the demand on the market, and yeah, we need the sweet daddy to like sponsor us. Like in our case, we need to like pitch. We have some idea and we need to go there and say, okay, our method is the best. So like profit, I would say more in the marketing your job. Yeah, I can share one of my project. So one of the project is called automatic pipeline. So our client is it's a chemical production, so chemical company. They produce a chemical product for the plants, and they collect the different data. And the goal is they want the non-technical user, for example, their product manager, their business sales. They want them to the product manager or the sales. They want to know how their data look like. So before, what they did is they have the data, they have a specific product name ABC 123, and then they collect all the data and then put this data to the data science team in the company, and then after a certain of time they create a 15 pages report, and then you can see and what happens in your product. But now, yeah, it's so every product manager, they have their own product, so it's kind of redundant work. So our idea is to how to automate this pipeline. So yeah, our challenge is that data is dirty. We have different systems. We have database system, and how we modeling and how we interpret the data. So what we do is we use the RShiny. So we have interface that can connect to database. And we use RStudio to do that. And the front end, of course, this back at the front end is a web browser. So you can open the web browser and you can type the information, for example, which field, and for example, which target, which crop. And then you can have an overview of this and what is percentage. And even more than that, we can go to, for example, here we can see in Africa, we have a different field for, they make the experiment, and if you select this, and then you can see the temperature out of that. And also like the rainfall, yeah, it's a weather. So you can have the information, just you drag, and even you click this, you have extra information. And then you can have the modeling. So we have implemented random forest and XGBoosting to different model. What we can do is we can see the important factors for product performance, like in what is the best temperature for this chemical product, and what kind of plants is more efficient for this chemical product. And then we can calculate the interact effect, multi-ingredient effect. Yeah, then we can say, oh, this crop stage is most important one, and compared to the other internal. So based on this, we can provide the information for the product owner, and they can have further go into what kind of adjustment for their product they need. Yeah, I would like to stop here since I don't have much time. So you can go to the website. We have a different use case graph database verification and optimization, and explainable AI for trial field analysis with management. And we have different use case. My department is computational life science. We have in the other department is geoscience and the manufacturers. Yeah, so mechanical engineer. So yeah, you can look at it. Yeah, so conclusion, choose your love and then you love your choose. So this is my LinkedIn. I'm very happy, and my email. I'm happy to have all the different kinds of cooperation, working in interesting project, and yeah, some discussion. Thank you very much.